goes Nixon to the wall. He caught it! Unbelievable!
Kiss this one goodbye. It's a slam. And down the stretch he comes. Here's the Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where tonight the Florida Marlins come to town to open up a 4-game series with Atlanta. I'm Pete Van Wern, along with Joe Simpson. Braves begin the night 7 games behind the San Francisco Giants in the National League West. The Giants playing tonight in New York. Well, Joe Simpson, the Braves just completed a 3-game sweep of one expansion team, the Colorado Rockies, but a little bit different when the Florida Marlins come in.
Certainly is, Pete. In fact, the Marlins, the first trip in here this year, won the only 2 games of that brief series, but the Marlins are not exactly your typical expansion franchise. When you look at comparisons to other expansion teams, you can see that projected over a full season, they have a chance to set a record for wins. They're only 7 games under 500 right now, and they're doing it primarily with pitching. Their batting numbers have not really come around as yet, but the guy on the mound tonight, Chris Hammond, already with 9 wins.
He'll be on the mound for the Florida Marlins. He'll be opposed by Greg Maddux, who's already beaten the Marlins once this year for Atlanta. It's beach towel night here at the stadium, and we'll be back as the Marlins test the Braves' waters right after this.
2001 starting lineup for the Marlins tonight. Walt Weiss, Rich Renteria, and Gary Sheffield the first 3. Then it's Destrade, Conine, and Whitmore, the rookie. Benito Santiago hits 7th. Newcomer Henry Cotto bats 8th in center field, and Chris Hammond will be the pitcher. There's a defense for the Braves, one you might expect against a left-handed pitcher. Chris Hammond on the mound for the Marlins, and Greg Maddux makes his 18th start.
And we're underway as Walt Weiss steps in and fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Weiss hitting .286, a homer, and 19 RBIs. Longtime shortstop for the Oakland A's. Maddux 7-6 on the year, 2.71 ERA. He beat the Florida Marlins in Florida earlier this year. That one got Weiss on the foot, the count 0-2.
That one looked like it got Weiss either on the top of the foot or the ankle, just above the ankle, and a direct hit. And if that wasn't enough to make Walt Weiss uncomfortable, temperature down on the field at game time, 93 degrees.
Well, it's the beginning of 4th of July weekend. It's supposed to be warm in Georgia.
Gotta like it.
0-2, the count on Weiss. Maddux delivers. Downstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. The Marlins a record of 35-42, 7 games under 500. They are currently 6th in the National League East. They're 16.5 games out of first, but they are 11.5 games ahead of the 7th place New York Mets. Count goes to 2-2 now on Walt Weiss.
Umps for tonight's ball game. The veteran Harry Wendell stepped behind the dish. Randy Marsh, Ed Rapawano, and Larry Vann over the other 3.
And that's all for Walt Weiss. He's down swinging on the changeup from Greg Maddux. 1 gone, top of the first.
A little different look to this Marlins lineup as you take a look at the strikeout again, and it was a beautiful changeup from Maddux. But remember, Weiss was hitting 8th when we first saw them earlier in the year. He's now their leadoff man, and with the additions of Henry Cotto and Gary Sheffield, and the absence of Dave Magadan, some obvious differences.
Here's Rich Renteria batting hearty .311 for the year. A couple of home runs, 18 RBIs, hitting .330 over his last 35 games. 1 ball, 1 strike on Renteria. Sheffield, the on-deck hitter.
Tough part of their lineup is that they lost Brett Barbary again on the DL with injury to his knee.
Didn't go, says Randy Marsh. 2-1 the count on Renteria. He played for the last 2 seasons in the Mexican League. 2 years ago, he hit .442 for Jalisco in Mexico. On the ground toward short, Jeff Blauser fields and throws, and 2 are out here in the top half of the first inning. And that'll bring up Gary Sheffield. The Marlins winning the pool to get Gary Sheffield. A lot of teams were interested in him.
Maddux among the leaders in the league, as you can see, in several different categories. Even though he is 7-6, his record could be a lot better with a little more run support.
Sheffield has hit in all 6 games safely since joining the Marlins. .298 overall for the year. San Diego Padres trying to pare down their payroll. And the Marlins gave up 3 young prospects to get Gary Sheffield. And also Rich Rodriguez came over in that deal.
You sure it wasn't a deal for Rodriguez and Sheffield was a throw-in?
I think it was the other way around. Trevor Hoffman, Jose Martinez, and Andres Baruman were the 3 players that went over to San Diego. 0-1 on the way to Sheffield. Foul back, 0-2. Bobby Cox talking about Gary Sheffield the other day said he can only recall seeing 2 hitters in his entire career that when they made solid contact, the ball sounded as sharply hit as when Gary Sheffield connects, and those 2 were Willie Mays and Hank Aaron.
Wow. Well, he has the utmost respect for this guy. Thinks he is right now among the best, if not the best, hitter in the National League. That includes Barry Bonds.
It's 1-2 now on Sheffield. Maddux trying for the 1-2-3 inning, missed inside. 2-2.
And part of what impresses Bobby is the fact that Sheffield this year against the Braves, 11 for 25, a homer, and 5 RBIs. That's a .440 mark.
He started to go, and I think he did. He went around. Strike 3. 1-2-3 inning for Maddux. 2 strikeouts in the inning after a half inning. No score from Atlanta.
Perfect 1-2-3 inning for Greg Maddux. Let's take a look at Bobby Cox's lineup tonight against the Marlins. Otis Nixon in the lineup to lead it off. Then it's Blauser, Pendleton, and Gant, who's hitting cleanup. Justice will bat 5th. Brian Hunter at first base. Damon Berryhill gets the start behind the plate. Mark Lemke will bat 8th. Greg Maddux pitches and bats 9th. Defense for the Marlins. Conine, Cotto, and Whitmore in the outfield. Sheffield, Weiss, Renteria, and Destrade from 3rd to 1st. Benito Santiago behind the dish. And Chris Hammond has been pitching great baseball. He's won 7 straight and 9 of his last 10. He makes his 17th start. Won his last one against Montreal. 8 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. But the thing that's turned his season around really is knocking down the long ball. He's given up 11 homers, but none in his last 6 starts.
And it'll be Otis Nixon leading it off for the Braves, hitting .242 with 14 runs driven in. Hammond's first pitch in there for a call strike. Hammond 1-0 lifetime against Atlanta. He picked up that win while a member of the Cincinnati Reds. Very important acquisition for the Marlins. Right near the end of spring training, they dealt 3rd baseman Gary Scott to the Reds for Hammond, and they picked up Luis Aquino on the waiver wire from Kansas City. Nixon thrown out by Weiss, 1 down, and those 2 have become 2 of their top starting pitchers.
That's another part of that pitching story that we were talking about in the opening comments, is that they have only used 5 pitchers in their starting rotation all year, and that's highly unusual for an expansion team.
Here's Blauser batting .321. And Hammond's first pitch to him is a little bit high and away, ball 1. We saw the Florida Marlins very late in spring training, and they were really concerned about their pitching. Toward the end of spring training, they were using 2 pitchers who had pitched at the Class A level last year as their 4th and 5th starters. So being able to come up with Hammond and Aquino, who we'll see tomorrow night, keys to their success so far this year. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Little tap toward 3rd. Sheffield backhands. The throw across to 1st. May pull Estrade off the bag, but he was able to hold it, says first base ump Randy Marsh. And Blauser is out, number 2.
Well, let's take a look and see if Estrade was able to keep his foot on the bag. He's a big guy, 6'3". Looked like he had it on there. Nice call by Randy Marsh.
2 gone. That'll bring up Terry Pendleton. Terry at .257 for the year. About the last 6 weeks or so, we have seen the Terry Pendleton that we were watching the last couple of years. He's at .356 over his last 59 at bats. Hammond trying for a 1-2-3 inning of his own, misses with the first one, ball 1.
Rene Latchman, the skipper of the Marlins, told me before the ball game that Hammond has been successful in getting all his pitches over for strikes. He'll throw them in any count. Fastball, curve, change.
Back to the same uniform number. It's a very low uni number for a pitcher, but that's the number that Chris Hammond wore in high school. throughout most of his minor league career. Couldn't wear it over at Cincinnati. That's Barry Larkin's number over there. But when he came to the Marlins, he asked for it and received it and is having a good year. 2-1. Braves tonight trying to match their longest winning streak of the year. They have not won more than 4 in a row all year. They've won 3 in a row coming into this one. 3-1 the count now on Terry Pendleton. Ron Gant waiting on deck. Outside corner for a called strike. 3-2. Chris Hammond was born right here in Atlanta, but he grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. And his 3-2 on the way to Pendleton. Fouled back off the screen. Still 3-2.
There's evidence of what Rene Latchman was talking about. A 3-2 breaking ball. Terry had to lean out over the plate just to get a piece of it to stay alive.
We'll keep an eye on that Giants-Mets game once it gets underway in New York. Anthony Young trying to end that long losing streak of 24 straight for the Mets tonight. Fielded by Renteria. Good play in a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Hammond. Nothing doing for Atlanta. After 1, no score. Half of inning 2, Oreste Destrade leading it off for Florida, batting .266, 7 homers, 42 RBIs. Home run champion over in Japan for the last 3 years. He's hit safely in his last 5 games. 1 ball, 1 strike on Destrade.
I think the Marlins were hoping for a little bit more in the power department at this stage. He does have 42 RBIs, and he's leading the club in that category. But I'm sure they'd like to see a few more long balls.
Little grounder out to short, fielded by Blauser. And that's 4 in a row set down now by Greg Maddux. Estrade retired. That'll bring up a left fielder, Jeff Conine. Conine having a good year, .292 for the season. He has 5 homers and 37 runs driven in. And he's been hitting at a .315 clip over the last 25 games. A lot of the guys that are in the lineup right now for the Marlins weren't playing regularly the first time the Braves and Marlins hooked up back in April. Nothing in 1 the count on Conine.
Conine's off to a good start in July in the productivity category. In fact, his RBI totals, when you look at them for the first 3 months and compare it to July 1st, he's on a good pace for July.
Maddux ahead in the count, 0-2. Braves and Marlins will play one another 7 times over the next 10 days. The Braves will conclude the first portion of the season just before the All-Star break in Fort Lauderdale at Joe Robbie Stadium for a 3-game series. Strike 3 called. Conine caught looking, and Maddux is sharp. He's retired 5 straight, 3 of them by strikeouts.
Remember, he got Weiss with a changeup, got Sheffield with a breaking ball. Comes back and burns the outside corner on a fastball here. Tails back over the corner, and Conine gave up on it, thinking it was going to stay outside.
Now the rookie right fielder, Darrell Whitmore, playing in just his 7th game since coming up from Edmonton. He was leading the Pacific Coast League in hitting, batting .355 in AAA with 9 homers and 62 runs driven in. Didn't get the fastball. The count 0-1. Maddux's fastball appears to have a little more zip than normal tonight.
Yes, he threw that one right by Darrell. Whitmore was a little tardy on it.
It's low in the count, even. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Whitmore also had 24 doubles down there already, 11 stolen bases. He was having a sensational year.
24 years old. That's a foul ball. Cookie Rojas thought about it, but said 1-2 the count. Whitmore, 24 years old, from Front Royal, Virginia. A graduate of West Virginia University, has a degree in sports management. In fact, back in '91, he was playing at Watertown in the short season Class A League. Played only 6 games there and decided to return to school to get his degree.
Very admirable. He was a defensive back too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Good one. Honorable mention All-American twice as a defensive back at West Virginia. Played last year at the Class A level at Kinston, hit .280. 2-2 the count now, and Darrell Whitmore. The changeup strikes him out. That's 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Greg Maddux, who has retired 6 in a row. And we go to the bottom half of inning 2, still scoreless from Atlanta. Bottom half of inning 2, it'll be Ron Gant, David Justice, and Brian Hunter due up against Chris Hammond. First of 4 with the Marlins. Tomorrow night it'll be Luis Aquino against Pete Smith. Sunday afternoon, Ryan Bowen against John Smoltz. And then the series continues on Monday night with Jack Armstrong facing Steve Avery. Then the Braves wrap up the first portion of the season with a 6-game road trip, 3 in St. Louis and 3 in Florida before the All-Star break. And here is Ron Gant, who may be on the bubble of making that All-Star team. 268, 17 homers, 48 RBIs. Nothing and 1 the count.
Story in the paper today about David Justice upset with not enough promotion for the Braves in terms of all-star balloting. Ron Gant, when you look at his numbers that he's put up this year, bona fide all-star consideration.
In the air to right field, Whitmore drifting back. And he's got it for the out. 1 gone in the bottom of the 2nd. And that'll bring up David Justice, hitting at .228, 16 homers, and 46 runs driven in.
Pete, the Cincinnati Reds placed Biff Roberts on the DL today with a bad thumb. They're playing a doubleheader against Pittsburgh at Riverfront this evening, trailing 10-9 after 7 innings of play.
Wow.
And Bobby Kelly just left the game due to a sprained left shoulder. So the Reds are having some troubles.
Fastball by Justice, the count 0-1. In that all-star balloting, David Justice right now ranks 3rd. Lenny Dykstra right behind him. It's going to be a close finish. Barry Bonds, as you might expect, leads the outfielders. 0-2 the count. We haven't had a base runner for either side yet. A ball and 2 strikes, the count on Justice. Still 1-2. You talk about putting numbers on the board in the minor leagues to earn a major league chance. Chris Hammond really did that back in 1990, pitching at Nashville AAA. A record of 15-1, league leading earned run average 2.17, led the league in strikeouts with 149. That'll get
somebody's attention.
A shot in the big leagues. Breaking ball rolled to first to Strade Fields, and Hammond has retired 5 straight.
The weird thing is, last year when he was with Cincinnati, it seemed that Lou Piniella didn't have a whole lot of confidence in him. And in fact, even in some games where Hammond might have been pitching pretty well, he never really got a chance to go much beyond 6 innings before the Reds would go to their solid bullpen. And that's certainly understandable, but he's making the best of his move down to Florida. His record on the road not as good as his overall record indicates. 4-3 on the road, 3.6 ERA.
Brian Hunter hitting just .118 on the year in limited playing time, taking ball 1 from Hammond. The count on Hunter.
Hammond's hip pocket hanging out. Harry Wendelstedt said, tuck it in. Don't want any complaints about the white of his pocket showing.
Hammond on a pace right now easily to set a record for an expansion team first year for most wins. We'll have to talk about that a little bit later. As he breezes through another 1-2-3 inning. Conine making the catch in foul territory. 6 up and 6 down for Atlanta. We've played 2, still scoreless.
No one has been able to reach base here as we get underway in the 3rd inning, and this telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
Top of the 3rd, lower 3rd of the order for the Marlins, beginning with Benito Santiago, hitting just .237 this year. First pitch swinging, bounces one out to Lemke. Another easy chance. And that's 7 straight, retired now by Maddux. One away in the 3rd. And now center fielder Henry Cotto, who came over from Seattle in the Dave Magadan deal. He was hitting 190 over there. He's hitting 167 as a Marlin, 1 for 6.
This guy, I thought, Pete, a couple of years ago was the best 4th outfielder in the American League. He could come in when somebody needed a rest or somebody went on the disabled list and play for a couple of weeks and never miss a beat in your lineup.
There's a strike at the knees, the count 0-1. Remember back a few years ago, there was a lot of trade talk between the Braves about a possible trade between the Braves and the Mariners when the Braves were interested in Mike Jackson. Henry Cotto was often rumored to be a part of that deal, too. 0-2 the count.
He's an excellent defensive outfielder, playing center field tonight, but can play any of the 3 outfield positions and is a good base runner, too. Excellent stolen base percentage.
Look out, right up under his chin.
These 2 guys were former teammates. I wonder.
I think that one just slipped.
Greg said it got away from me. These guys played together in Chicago, and that just missed.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Change up is low, 2-2. They'll get around to putting a name on the back of that uniform just as soon as they can find another T. They only had 1 T left. He needs 2 for Cotto.
Henry Ava Cotto.
He's down on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Maddux. That's 8 in a row he's retired. And he is dealing tonight. This will bring up the pitcher, Chris Hammond.
He's been getting ahead in the count, making them hit breaking balls and off-speed pitches that are mostly out of the strike zone.
His strikeout high this year is 8. He's done it 3 times. Last time against the Phillies back on May 15th. He has 5 already. There are 2 outs in the 3rd. Hammond, a good hitting pitcher, shows us that. Lining a base hit into left center field. He came in at 211 with a homer and a couple of RBIs, and he's the first man to reach in the game for either side.
This guy's been hot, not only with on the mound, but he's 8 for his last 25 hitting.
And we go back to the top of the order now, and Walt Weiss.
I don't think they're going to slow the game down for any Jackets to be brought out tonight.
No, I don't think the Jackets even made it out to the bench tonight. 93 degrees at game time. Weiss, a strikeout victim in the 1st. And he takes strike 1 here in the 3rd. It's even, 1 ball, 1 strike. They're not holding Hammond at first. The 1-1 to Weiss, rolled foul on the first base side. A ball and 2 strikes. Veda Pinson, the first base coach, came within about 250 hits of recording 3,000 hits during his career. Spent mostly with the Cincinnati Reds.
Look up his offensive numbers sometime if you've got a minute and check out what he did during his career. And if they're not Hall of Fame numbers, I'd be surprised. I can't figure out why he hasn't been given more consideration. Maybe in the veteran vote.
Here's the 1-2 on the way, fouled off again, still 1-2. It seems there's always a couple of players that get into that category. They were dominant players during their era, but for some reason they just can't get the support. Richie Ashburn is one who put up great numbers throughout his career. Still hasn't made it. Phil Rizzuto.
Yeah.
Another one who should be in there and isn't.
I didn't like Veda when I was a kid because I was a big Mickey Mantle fan, and the only guy supposedly faster than Mickey Mantle was Veda Pinson.
Line toward second, and that'll do it for the Florida Marlins in the third. We go to the bottom half of inning 3, still scoreless from Atlanta.
No score here in Atlanta. Let's take an update on the other scores around baseball. A couple of doubleheaders today. San Diego at Philadelphia. They're in the third inning, and of course they've got a rain delay. First game of 2. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. They're underway, and that's a wild one. Don Slaughter has hit 2 3-run homers for Pittsburgh. Montreal has taken an early lead over Los Angeles. New York and San Francisco are tied now at the end of 1 inning. And the other games at Houston just underway, and at Colorado later tonight. In the American League, Texas trying to make it 11 in a row for Detroit. Palmeiro has homered for the Rangers, and everything else will get started shortly.
And we go to the bottom half of the third inning with no score. We were talking at the end of the bottom half of the second inning about Chris Hammond and a chance to make the expansion team record book. He's already won 9 games, going for his 10th tonight. The most wins ever turned in an expansion year by a pitcher on that team, 13. So he's got a real good shot at passing that. Gene Brabender did it with the Seattle Pilots back in 1969. He was a 13-game winner. And Dave LeManchik with the Toronto Blue Jays in 1977 won 13 games. Damon Berryhill getting around a little awkwardly on the off-speed pitch. 0-1. Damon, a .254 hitter for the year, 4 homers, 16 RBIs. Brian Harvey's already set a save record for an expansion team pitcher. Enrique Romo for the Seattle Mariners had 16 in 1977, but Harvey's already got 23. 1-1 the count now on Berryhill.
One thing that makes Hammond very effective against right-handed hitters is that with that real slow looping curveball, they have a tendency to give up on it, and he's able to drop it in there for strikes.
Sharply hit, but right at Weiss. He's got a great glove over there. And that's 7 straight set down now by Hammond. That'll bring out Mark Lemke.
Walt Weiss has some very good hands, quick reactions, but you can see how he almost got down on the level of the ball as it was coming to him. He was at his knees bent in a great position there to make the backhanded play.
Lemke .259 for the year, taking high and away, ball 1. It's high and away, the count 2-0. Learned something today I did not know. This is going to be a big weekend here at the ballpark with the Florida Marlins in, a sold-out weekend here. But there's also going to be another baseball event going on here in Atlanta. Pitch is high and away. In fact, this is a big weekend in Atlanta, period, with the Peachtree Road Race on Sunday. But Sunday night, 8:30 at the Chastain Park Amphitheater, the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra is going to do the orchestral version of Casey at the Bat, narrated by Braves general manager John Schuerholz.
I bet that's a ticket that's hard to get.
That's this Sunday night at the Chastain Park Amphitheater.
And I'm sure he will do a marvelous job.
The outlook wasn't brilliant for is what's going through his mind right now.
Yes, he's already rehearsing down there for. Yeah. Need more than that.
Here's the 3-2 on the way to Lemke. And Mark becomes the first base runner of the night for the Atlanta Braves as Hammond issues the walk.
That's an odd walk for Hammond of late. When you look at his numbers recently, he averaged over 4 walks per 9 innings in his first 3 years. This year only 3, but he has cut down on them drastically of late.
Now Greg Maddux hitting .214 for the season. Driven in a couple of runs. See how the Braves play it here. Sheffield in on the edge of the grass at third. Maddux is squaring, gets down the bunt. It'll be fielded by Hammond. Took a look at second, but throws on to first. Estrade stays back to take the throw. 1-3 on the sacrifice. Down to second goes Lemke.
Talking about balks, though, or bases on balls, Pete, Hammond is allowing opponents a .267 average against him. He's giving up more than one hit per inning. Same with Steve Avery. Avery's at an average of .257 against him, but neither of those left-handers are making things worse by walking guys, and this certainly makes a difference.
Here's Otis Nixon, who grounded out to short his first time up. Breaking ball strike outside corner. Fouled off at the plate. It's 0-2 now on Otis. Outside corner, says Harry Wendelstedt. Otis Nixon didn't think so. That's the first strikeout for Hammond. That's all for the Braves. We go to the fourth inning. Still no score.
Go to the top half of the fourth inning, and a reminder that tomorrow on U.S. Olympic Gold. U.S. Olympic Gold tomorrow at 5 o'clock on TNT.
Rich Renteria leading off the fourth inning. Grounded out to short his first time. And the count quickly 0-2 on Renteria. The Marlins earlier this season came in for a 2-game series and won them both here in Atlanta. Braves won 2 out of 3 down at Joe Robbie Stadium their first visit. Right off the handle back into the crowd. Still 0-2.
Greg Maddux right now is putting on a little bit of a clinic. Inside with the fastballs, keeping the hitters honest, right in on their thumbs. Getting ahead in the count. He's already 0-2 on Renteria, and then he comes back with his pitch to see if they can handle it.
Right off the batting helmet as Maddux was trying to come up and in on Renteria, and he is down. You saw him almost hit Henry Cotto with a pitch that he was trying to get in on him. This one really got away.
That was scary. And Greg Maddux among those down to see if he's okay.
Renteria getting to his knees. And a concerned Rene Latchman looking on.
Boy, is that good to see.
Larry Starr, the longtime Cincinnati Reds trainer, now working with the Marlins.
Let's take another look at it if you want. You can see the target was set up. They wanted it inside, and the ball got away from Greg and got him right on the ear flap. Right behind the temple.
Well, he's back to his feet, and he's walking off under his own power. But he's not going to be able to continue in the ball game.
Probably best just to have him checked out for sure by a team physician.
Dr. Crow, one of the Braves team physicians in the blue shirt there on the field.
Pitch inside there.
Well, it looks like he'll be all right. getting a little more life to his step as he headed down the stairs toward the locker room. And Alex Arias has come on to pinch run now for Renteria.
Sure, Rich had some flashbacks to opening day in AAA a couple of years ago when he was at Calgary in the Mariners system. During batting practice, got hit in the jaw with a line drive during batting practice. Broke his jaw and missed a year.
Hey.
So a runner at first with nobody out. And Gary Sheffield, the batter. Sheffield, a strikeout victim, his first time up. I call strike on Gary. Well, let's hope that Renteria being hit by the pitch and Cotto almost being hit by a pitch an inning ago doesn't begin one of those revenge sessions here. Greg Maddux not trying to hit anybody. He was just trying to get a pitch in with 2 strikes in the count on both Cotto and Renteria.
Well, you never know.
Sometimes these things escalate.
Yeah, you never know how the other team's going to react when it happens twice, Pete.
Rene Latchman didn't look very happy, did he, when he was out there? Down the left field line by Gary Sheffield. Fair ball headed toward the corner. Arias heading for third. Here comes Gant's throw. Blauser's throw down to second base. He threw it by Lemke. All the way into the right field corner. In to score is Arias. Sheffield being waved around third. He's heading home. Here's the throw by Justice. He is safe. The Marlins wind up scoring 2. There should have been runners at second and third and nobody out. Instead, 2 runs are in with nobody out.
Braves defense has been a little suspect this entire homestand, but no errors last night. This really, well, fastball broke his bat for the single, but this throw should have gone to second. Ron Gant had no play at third. He had a big play at second if he had gone to second with the throw. Blauser cuts off the play, fires to second, and you can see there's no chance at all for Lemke to haul it in.
If you're scoring with us, that'll be a double for Sheffield. Means he's hit safely now in all 7 games he's played in as a Marlin. No RBI. And the error charge on the throw by Jeff Blauser. So the Marlins on top 2-0. Ball 1 to count on Orestes to Strade. Grounded out the short his first time. Sharply hit to Hunter. He'll wave off Maddux and take it himself. 1 down. And now Jeff Conine will hit. Tell you what, having a guy like Gary Sheffield in the middle of this batting order with the pitching that the Marlins have gotten, they might be able to make a legitimate run at a 500 season.
Oh, I think so. I think they definitely can with their pitching. One of their pitchers right there in front of Sheffield, Charlie Huff, holding his own at the tender age of 40-something.
Deep short. Blauser, a nice pickup. The throw to first is going to pull Hunter off the bag. That'll be a base hit for Conine.
So we've been talking about their pitching and how good it's been. They are tied for 10th in the league in batting average at .254, but next to the last spot in the National League in runs scored. So they have had trouble putting runs across for their pitching.
Well, Sheffield will certainly help there.
Yeah.
And now the rookie right fielder Darrell Whitmore. He was a strikeout victim his first time. Another sharply hit ball. Hunter, nice play, steps on the bag, down to second. They have to tag him out, and Blauser does. A 3-6 double play to end the top half of the 4th inning. But some damage done by the Marlins. They score 2, and we go to the bottom half of the 4th. 2-0 Florida. Two nothing Marlins as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and plate umpire Harry Wendelstedt perhaps sensing the same thing that we were when Renteria was hit between the top half of the fourth inning and the start of this bottom half of the fourth, walked over to the Florida dugout and was chatting with Rene Latchman, the Marlins manager, perhaps just to remind him that there was nothing intentional about either one of those pitches. And hopefully the escalation will not occur. Arias stays in the game to play second after running for Renteria. And it'll be Jeff Blauser leading off here in the last of the fourth inning. And taking a strike from Hammond, 0-1. Braves still looking for their first hit off Chris Hammond. Blauser grounded out to third his first time. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jeff.
And if anybody knows what it's like to be plunked, it's Jeff Blauser, who's been hit 8 times already this year.
Here's the 1-1. The let up, high and away, 2-1. In the air to straightaway center. Cotto making the call. And the catch, 1 down. That'll bring up Terry Pendleton, who grounded out to second his first time. Outside corner for a called strike. Was reading an article about the San Diego Padres and the fire sale they've been having on their players. This is the 25th year of Major League Baseball in San Diego, and they had the fans vote on the all-time Padre team. And it was pointed out by one San Diego writer, there are more all-time Padres playing for the Marlins now than there are for the Padres. Tony Gwynn's the only guy left over there that made the all-time Padre team. But Gary Sheffield and Benito Santiago both named by the Padre fans as the best ever in San Diego at their positions, and they're both Marlins now. 1-2 to Colin Pendleton.
Maybe the arrival of his former teammate will get Santiago going too. He's been struggling offensively.
2-2 the count now on Terry Pendleton.
0-2. He tried to come inside and really didn't get the ball in there, and he really came in with that one. Let's see if that served its purpose.
Here's the 2-2. Little fly ball, shallow right field, long run for Whitmore, but he gets there. 2 down. And still the only Brave to reach, Mark Lemke, with that walk back in the third. And now Ron Gant, who flied to right his first time.
We were talking about Ron's numbers that he's put up so far this year. 3rd in the league in extra base hits, 4th in some power categories, home runs and slugging percentage. He's 5th. He's having a good year, and his average has been right around the 270 mark for the last 3 weeks.
Well, as far as picking an all-star team, it's a can't-win situation for Bobby Cox and Bill White, the National League president, who will assist him in choosing the reserves, because there's always going to be a player on some team who the fans and teammates feel should be in the game that's not going to be picked. 1, 2, 3 in the fourth. Forward lineup. We go to the 5th inning. Still 2-0 Marlins. Leads it off for the Marlins on Curacao night. The island of Curacao represented here tonight with some government officials. In fact, they sponsored the beach towel promotion.
Oh, I thought it was Jim Beecham towel night. No?
No. Beach towel night, like the beach you go to in the summertime to cool off. Base hit for Santiago. And that's the 4th hit off Maddux.
Coming up next on TBS, Whitewater Summer. Kevin Bacon stars as an outdoorsman who teaches some city kids the ways of the wilderness. Whitewater Summer following the game on TBS. We could use a little splash of white water right now. It's hot.
Cotto, a strikeout victim his first time. Kind of a culture shock and climate for Cotto after all those years in Seattle. Going down to South Florida for the rest of the summer.
Just a little different. I was talking to him before the game, though. He says Lou Pinella's got those guys really moving over there. He said,
well, that AL West really up for grabs. Only 6.5 games from top to bottom in the division. Seattle's only a game and a half out now.
He said Lou's made it clear, if you don't play hard, you don't play.
A ball and no strikes on Henry Cotto. Cotto came up with the Cubs, spent some time with the Yankees, then went over to Seattle. He's been with the Mariners the last 5 years. Down the left field line, that's a fair ball headed toward the corner. Benito Santiago heading for third. Ron Gant just now coming up with the ball. Now they're going to wave Santiago. The relay throw home by Blauser is going to get there late. All the way around to third goes Cotto. And it's 3-0 Florida.
This ball was right down the line, and if you've watched the game here in Atlanta, you know that there's a part of the stands that juts out here. Ron thought the ball was going to hit that corner and bounce back, and it didn't, and that's why he had to go all the way deep in the left field corner to get the ball. See Jeff Blauser double clutch there on his relay. If he had made a clean relay, they had a chance at Santiago, but this ball just missed that corner, and it took Ron an extra step or two to go get it.
Scored a double for Cotto, give him an RBI. He takes third on the throw home. That's his first Marlin RBI. So Florida up now 3-0, and here's Chris Hammond, who got the first Marlin hit. Count 0-1 on him. Infield in for Atlanta with a runner at third, nobody out. A ball and a strike to count. First game of that Twinville is over with, and Cincinnati Pirates beat the Reds 10-9. The Giants and Mets now go to the bottom of the third, tied at 1. One and two, the count now on Hammond. That's toward the hole, but cut off by Pendleton. He holds the runner at third and will throw out Hammond. Well, there's a big first out here in the top half of the fifth inning, and back we go down to the top of the order and Walt Weiss.
Phillies made a move today. They released former Brave pitcher Mark Davis, recalled Mike Williams to take his place. Also, the Mets have Howard Johnson back ready for the Giants in that series. They activated Hojo and sent Doug Saunders back to Norfolk.
Weiss 0 for 2 in the night. He has struck out and lined out to second. We were talking about Bobby Cox a moment ago. He's got a couple of real problem positions in picking reserves. First base and shortstop. Looks like John Kruk's going to win the balloting among National League first basemen, but you've got Greg Jeffries, Mark Grace, Jeff Bagwell, Andres Galarraga, all having great years. Is there room for all of them? Probably not. Down the first base line, just foul. 0-1, the count on Weiss. Looks like Ozzie Smith will be the starting shortstop based on the fans' vote. Jeff Blauser certainly deserves a trip. Jay Bell with the Pirates, Barry Larkin with the Reds, Jose Vizcaíno or Ray Sanchez. Almost either one of those two from the Cubs, both hitting over 300.
See, so no matter who Bobby takes at either of those positions, he's going to get criticized heavily, and whichever cities get left out, whichever players are left off the team.
He can take a couple of extra hitters this year because they will be using the DH rule since it's in an American League ballpark. That'll be one way of squeezing in a little more offense. 0-2 the count on Weiss.
Good change up there to Weiss, who was still trying to pull the ball as he did on that foul ball.
Infield remains in with one out and that runner at third. Marlins leading it 3-0. They've out hit the Braves 5-zip. A ball and 2 strikes the count now on Walt Weiss. Two and two, the count on Weiss.
When you look at Walt Weiss, you don't think of a guy that's all that strong, but he is very strong in his upper body. You can see he's got some strong arms on him. Usually batted low in the lineup in that Oakland, on that Oakland ball club that had so many good solid power hitters up at the top.
Here's the 2-2, and again he fouls it off. Still 2-2.
Product of the University of North Carolina.
I wonder what he thinks when he picks up the newspaper every day and looks at the American League West standings and sees Oakland way down near the bottom this year.
Yeah, but see, when, like you said before, when you say way down near the bottom of the American League West, that's not way
not very
down.
far, yeah.
6.5 out, I think the A's are.
There's your runner at third, Henry Cotto. Here's the 2-2 pitch, a little bit low, and the count full 3-2.
Big pitch here for him. He doesn't have to give in to Weiss. Certainly, he could put him on if he wanted to and pitch to Arias on deck, but he does not want to face Sheffield, who's 2 batters away.
And he walked him. That's the first walk issued by Greg Maddux. Runners now at first and third for Alex Arias. Hitting .284 with a homer and 12 RBIs. He came on to pinch run for Renteria. We haven't had a report from the Marlins locker room, but it looked like Renteria was all right when he walked off the field after being hit on the head by a Greg Maddux pitch. Leo Mazzoni out to the mound. Well, this game will drive you crazy if you're a pitching coach. I am sure that Leo Mazzoni and Bobby Cox watch Greg Maddux pitch those first 3 innings and say, wow, he's got everything going tonight.
Let's get him a run, and that's all he'll need. And lately, that's about all he's ever had to work with is a run.
Second time around the order, though, it's been a different story.
Downside for the Marlins, too. Not only did they lose their starting second baseman, Renteria, but he's also their best clutch hitter. He was hitting over 400 with men in scoring position. So they would much rather see him up there right now than Arias. Maybe Maddux can get the double play and get out of the inning.
First and third, 1 out. Infield in at the corners. Double play that second and short. Ball 1, low and away to Arias.
Weiss had some good speed when he first signed with the A's, but he's had some troubles with an ankle injury the last couple of years in Oakland. It slowed him down a little bit. He's only 2 out of 3 in stolen bases this year.
Two and nothing now. The count on Arias. Still only 1 out in the inning.
And suddenly Greg's not getting ahead in the count like he was.
And here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Little tap toward third. Pendleton charging. Looks home. Has no play there. On to first in time. Another run scores as Cotto comes home from third. And that makes it 4-0. Down to second, Walt Weiss. Arias given credit for his 13th RBI of the year. And 2 men are out now for Gary Sheffield.
Well, what's going to happen now is that the bats are going to have to come alive. They're going to have to do something with Hammond, because he hasn't given up a hit tonight. And the Braves have been doing a lot of popping up. Haven't had too much to hit, but they're going to have to bail Greg out of these last 2 innings where he's given up 2 runs each inning so far.
Sheffield a strikeout and a double in the 4th inning. He came all the way around in the double on the throwing error by Blauser.
In no way would I give him a chance to hit here with a runner in scoring position. I'd take my chances with Destrade next.
2-0 the count on Sheffield. Now they're going to put him on. This will be the 2nd walk of the inning and of the night issued by Maddux, who is accustomed to being in a role out there when the Braves haven't gotten him any runs to work with. It's been the story all season long. Braves are averaging 4 runs a game so far this year, but in the games that Greg Maddux has pitched in, the Braves are averaging 2.8 runs a game. Well, here's Destrade now. Destrade 0 for 2. He is grounded out to short, grounded out to first. Steve Bedrosian getting up now in the Atlanta bullpen. And the count 0-1 on Destrade. Pitcher's spot is due up 5th in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Even if Maddux gets out of this inning, if the Braves get something going in the bottom half of the 5th, you may see Bobby Cox go to his bench. High in the air to straightaway center field. Otis Nixon out there waiting. And that'll do it for the Marlins in the 5th, but they scored 2 more. Leave a couple. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's now 4-0 Florida.
Out here in the bottom of the 5th inning, you see the line score. Thus far, Hammond pretty impressive. No hits as he allowed. And Skip, this is not like the Colorado Rockies where you can look to come back against the bullpen.
Yeah, Brian Harvey's a great closer, and they've got solid men to work prior to him, so it's time to go to work.
First pitch swinging. Justice sends it into the left field. There's the first base hit. Could be 2. No, down by 4. He'll settle for the single. Good start in the 5th for the Braves. That'll send Brian Hunter to the plate. Hunter flied to left his first time up. Brian still looks just a little bit rusty at the plate, but he certainly didn't look rusty defensively. Turned the 3-6 double play a little bit earlier in the game. Inside, 1-0. Down low, 2-0. This for Brian Hunter, only his 53rd official at bat. For some reason, this season has been a lot different than last year when the Braves seemed to see more left-handers. To center field. In play for Cotto. Hunter's gone, 1 out. And that'll bring Damon Berryhill to the plate.
6 fly ball outs for Atlanta, and Justice's ball was just a routine fly ball. He just hit it in a good spot down the left field line.
So Hammond not getting out the Braves in typical left-hander fashion.
He did in the first, 3 ground balls, but not so much since. Activity in the Atlanta bullpen now. Steve Bedrosian.
First pitch to Berryhill is high, 1-0. Bobby Cox thinking ahead. The pitcher's spot. 2 away. It's Lemke up next. If the Braves have a little something going, you can look for him to go to the bench. Ball 2 to Damon Berryhill. Right down the middle. It's 2-1. Berryhill just a shade over 250. He has 4 homers. That's out of play. Kind of leaving up at 2-2. These two have only faced each other twice. Hammond has been the winner both times. Berryhill 0 for 2. That'll get away from Santiago. Justice will make it down to second. Got to be a wild pitch.
We'll see it again here. Yeah, he had really no chance on that ball. He's lucky Berryhill didn't get hit with it.
So Justice is at second. That's good news for the Braves. It eliminates the possibility of a double play. And a base hit here can get the Braves on the board. 3-2 to Berryhill. Ball 4, and this one almost gets past Santiago. Second walk issued by Hammond. It'll put him at first and second for Mark Lemke. And expect to hear a little bit of a roar in the background as Francisco Cabrera comes out on deck.
And this is what drives managers to distraction. Here, Hammond gets himself a 4-run lead. He gives up a hit. Well, that's okay. It was just a fly ball that dropped, gets an out, then takes himself out of the double play, then walks the guy, and he's getting close to bringing the tying run to the plate. He's pitched a fine ball game, but he's asking for trouble here.
And you have a manager right there and a pitching coach, his brother Marcel Latchman, who both stress throwing strikes. One of the most thorough guys you'll ever see in baseball is Rene Latchman. First pitch to Lemke, fouled, and it's 0-1. Mark below the 260 mark for the first time in a while. Drew a walk his first time up. Good changeup, and Lemke's in a hole 0-2.
Giants lead the Mets again. It's 3-1 in the 4th.
That's Young again, right?
Yes, it is.
In the dirt, but picked by Santiago, and it's 1-2. Down the right field line, fair ball. That'll score Justice. Berryhill headed for third. It's a single for Lemke, and the Braves are on the board.
"26 RBIs for Lemke, the number he had all of last year. A 1-2 pitch. He threw him a fastball over the heart of the plate. Did Mark a favor, really. And speaking of Marcel Latchman, he comes out now to visit with his pitcher as Cabrera comes up representing the tying run.
Marcel Latchman was the pitching coach with the California Angels and respected as one of the very best in the business. Very simple approach to being a pitching coach. He was out here really early today working with Jack Armstrong down the left field line. Doesn't miss a trick. They're at the corners with 1 out for Cabrera. Jim Corsi starts to throw down in the Florida Marlins bullpen. Francisco Cabrera, 281, 15 hits in his last 43 at-bats in the big leagues. He's 5 out of 24 when he comes off the pine. Oh, and 1 to Cabrera. 1 swing of the bat. We got ourselves a tie ball game. Only 2 hits tonight for the Braves to this point, though.
Hammond has thrown 11 home run balls in about 102 innings, so there's hope.
And for the first time tonight, we hear the war chant. Nice stop by Santiago. It's 1-1 to Cabrera.
This is a game where the heat might be playing a factor even this early, because it is that muggy and warm here. 92 degrees at game time.
You know, you bring up a good point there, talking about the heat and how it varies. I guess that's one of the reasons why it kind of frustrates me. The reputation this young man got in Cincinnati is not being able to pitch in the 6th, 7th, or 8th. He never got a chance to, so how do you know?
He may not get the chance tonight.
Every night's a different one. Could be 2. Weiss to Arias. Arias to Destrade. It is 2, and that will wrap up what looked like a promising half inning for the Braves here. They do come out of it with 1 run. They do it on 2 hits, and they leave 1 stranded. We played 5 in Atlanta. It's the Marlins on top, 4-1.
And to pitch as we go to the 6th, a look at the other baseball. Upcoming, San Diego leads Philadelphia. That's in the first game of a twilight doubleheader. They had a 1 hour and 56-minute rain delay. Pittsburgh in the first of 2 over Cincinnati, 10-9. Montreal 1-0 over the Dodgers. San Francisco now 3-1 over New York in the 4th. No score at Houston, where the Cardinals are playing. We'll give you the American League in a bit.
New pitcher Steve Bedrosian. His first pitch to Jeff Conine is swung on and missed. Maddux, 5 innings, 5 hits. He walked 2. He struck out 5. He gave up 4 runs. They were all 4 earned. For Bedrosian, appearance number 20. To left field. Can Gant get there? No. He'll back up and play it on 1 hop. Not a good way to start the 6th. A leadoff single for Conine. His 2nd hit of the night.
Quick look at the American League scores. Detroit continuing to struggle. Rafael Palmeiro has a Texas homer. Baltimore leads the White Sox. Minnesota over Milwaukee. Toronto failed to score in the 1st. That game was held up so they could rename Royal Stadium Ewing Kauffman Stadium, and the other action is later on.
Darrell Whitmore will stand in with the runner at first. Bedrosian 0-2 with a .212 earned run average. In 17 innings work, he struck out 9. Pitch to Whitmore down low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Steve hadn't been out there since June 23rd, huh?
9 days. Hard to stay sharp. Ground ball, maybe too slow for 2. Blauser at the bag at second, unloads in a hurry. He does it. Nice play, Jeff Blauser. 1 pitch, 2 outs.
Whitmore has batted 5 times tonight and has accounted for, or rather 3 times tonight, and has accounted for 5 outs. It's the 2nd double play he's hit into. You see Conine trying to louse up Blauser's life, but the sly old fox jumped right over him.
Got that left shin out of the way rather quickly, didn't he? Here's Benito Santiago. He is 1 out of 2. He's grounded to second. He's single, and he scored a run. There's a strike from Bedrosian. 0-1.
It's only his 2nd appearance in 18 days, yet he's throwing strikes. That's amazing.
Just wide with that one, and it's 1-1. Off the fist, about as easy as you're going to get Santiago out. He was falling away from that one. Bissett to Lemke. So the leadoff single to Conine does no damage. Look at how easy they get out Santiago. Let me get out the way. 6.5 in the books. Marlins on top.
Fan there cooling off the sports fans. Now it's time for the Aflac trivia question, which is, who holds the Braves record for longest consecutive game hitting streak? We'll have the answer for you. That's the Atlanta Braves record. We'll have the answer for you in the bottom of the 8th tonight.
Back at the old ball game, we're in the bottom of the 6th inning, not the 7th. Top of the order, Otis Nixon. 4-6-0 for the Florida Marlins. 1-2-1 for the Atlanta Braves. Nixon 0 for 2 tonight. That may be the best fastball of the night from Hammonds, and he's got Nixon 0-1. Down low, 1-1. Hammond might be having a little bit of a problem coming up with enough tickets for the series here. He is from the Birmingham area. Good changeup. 1-2 to Nixon. He was born here in Atlanta, but he grew up over in Birmingham. Went to Vestavia High School. Also went to University of Alabama at Birmingham and down to Panama City to Gulf Coast Community College. Outside 2-2. Looked like Nixon had a notion of bunting with the 2 strikes. That's fouled out of play. Still 2-2. Second rain delay up in Philadelphia. San Diego is there. Remember, this is the first game of 2. After 5 innings, San Diego 3, Philadelphia 1. Chance for Sheffield. Long throw. Got him. 1 out for Jeff Blauser. I wonder how close Jerry Coleman is setting to that outlet there, because they've had rain, and Pete talked to him, or Rick Shaw talked to him earlier over in radio, and he said there's about an inch of water in the booth again tonight.
There's no fun. That's an important game for Philadelphia, though. That's one game is now an official game, and they may not wait much longer. It's up to the umpires now, as you know.
Here's Blauser. First pitch in the dirt, and it's 1-0. Jeff is grounded at third. He's flied to center. Drops under 320 for the first time in a long time. 89 hits, 5 of them homers. Did he go? No, he didn't. It's 2-0. Jeff Blauser has had himself a very consistent year. He has anchored the infield. He has done the job offensively. Tell you what, if he doesn't go to the All-Star game, there is no justice. There's the strike. It is 2-1 to Jeff.
Well, there is an Ozzie Smith.
That's true. But there are about 27 spots.
Yeah, he'll go.
To right field. Whitmore's going to have to backpedal, but he catches up to it. 2 gone here in the 6th inning.
Well, I said it before. I'll say it again. The University of West Virginia must have some big kids on their football team. That guy's a defensive back. He looks like a linebacker. But he can move around out there.
He is a big kid. And reading about him in their press guide, when he first signed, he only played about 6 games, I think, his first year. Why? Because he wanted to go back and work on his college education. And back in 1991, it would have been his 2nd year. He was at Watertown. Here's Pendleton. Terry 0 for 2. He's grounded to second. He's flied to right. Ground ball to short. Walt Weiss will gobble it up. It's another easy inning for Chris Hammond. He sets the Braves down 1-2-3. 6 in the books here in Atlanta. It's the Marlins on top, 4-1. For the 7th, Braves trail it. And here to tell you about it the rest of the way is Skip Carey.
Okay, Don, thank you. Henry Cotto is the batter against Bedrosian, and he loops one into left center field. Otis coming hard. He dives, but can't get it. And Cotto's going to try for 2, and he is going to make it. A sliding double. Otis gambled. The gamble didn't pay off. Second double of the night for Cotto, who's 2 out of 3.
Nixon had shaded Cotto a little bit to right center field. That's the scouting report on him. He had a long way to go. Got a good jump. Big swing off the end of the bat. That can sometimes deceive an outfielder. Comes within a foot or so. But you know what's really good here? Watch where Gant flashes into the picture out of nowhere to back it up. That could have been 3 if Ron doesn't do his job there.
It would not surprise you if Chris Hammond tried to move the runner over in the spot. It would surprise you if he did anything else. And now time is called. Barry Hill and Bedrosian want to talk it over. Rich Renteria has been examined, is resting now in the clubhouse, will be examined again later. It appears that everything's fine with him, and everybody's glad about that.
The PR guy was next door in their radio booth and said that the ball hit on the flap, that his left jaw is a little bit swollen, but as far as they can tell, he's going to be all right.
Hammond to bunt. Takes it down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. 4-1 Marlins is our score. The Giants are winning. They got bad news, though, tonight. Starting pitcher Trevor Wilson left the game with an injury in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's all we know about that. When we find out more, we'll let you know. Was going to bunt again up and in. 2-0 the count.
I just looked over in the Marlins radio booth, Skip, and their #1 play-by-play guy, Joe Angel, gave me the OK sign as far as Renteria is concerned. So hopefully it is good news.
2 balls, no strikes, the count. Runner at second, nobody out. They cut him loose, and he swung and missed, and it's 2-1, and that is surprising. He did single his first time up.
Well, it's not a bad play with everybody on the move in the infield. The key is to make contact, because there are a lot of openings there that wouldn't be there if the infield were set.
Pendleton back a step at third, perplexed by that play, I would think. Runner goes for third. They should get him. The throw is high, but he's still up. You never want to make the first or third out at third. Cotto made the first to break for Atlanta.
They thought everybody was going to be on the move. He shows bunt. There he goes. Bedrosian didn't even look. Good jump by Berryhill coming out of there, and Pendleton, the throw rode him right on off the bag. Good job by Terry of hustling back there. He could have very easily been faked out by the bunt attempt, but he wasn't.
That's what the Marlins thought would happen. And that takes care of Hammond. So, boy, this inning changed in a hurry, didn't it? Bedrosian records his first strikeout. And Walt Weiss bats with 2 out, nobody on. It is a hot one in Atlanta. If Ernie Johnson was here, he would say he saw a dog chasing a cat, and they were both walking.
That's hot.
Line right at Hunter, and the inning is over. It's almost hot enough to unthaw a producer's heart. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Braves trail the Marlins 4-1.
7th, not the bottom of the 8th. Marlins lead it. Why don't we do our little Aflac trivia question again? Here's our question. Who holds the Braves record? Atlanta, that is, for the longest consecutive game hitting streak. You ventured to guess Ralph Garr, didn't you?
I was wrong.
Rico Carty, the big boy. He had 366 that year, the best 2-strike hitter I ever saw.
All right, what Atlanta pitchers interrupted the longest hitting streak in Atlanta Braves history?
Gene Garber and Larry McWilliams. Very good. Thank you. Can I stay?
No. Here's Ron Gant, and the pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Activity in the Atlanta bullpen. Gant has flied to right, flied to center. He's yet to pull the ball off Chris Hammond, who's pitched another good one. He's 9-4 coming in. A lot up high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Jay Howell, Greg McMichael under the watchful eye of the Admiral, Ned Yost out there. There's a high drive, but a foul ball to deep left. Two balls, one strike. Nobody on, nobody out, bottom of the seventh. Gant, Justice, Hunter due for the Bravos. No activity in the Marlin bullpen. They're another team that goes with 12 pitchers. High pop on the infield. Who wants it? Destrada calls for it and makes the catch right on the mound. One away. This guy is rolling right along. Here's David Justice, who has half the Atlanta hits. He dropped the single into left field.
He's won 7 in a row. If he can win this one, that would tie Steve Avery for the longest winning streak in the National League this year. Avery's still intact.
And Hammond is shot at the All-Star game.
Well, you know the rule. Every ball club has to be represented by one player.
Well hit right field. Whitmore goes back, but it's just shy of the track. 2 down. So 2 are gone here in a hurry in the 7th, and Brian Hunter, the batter. That hitting streak we talked about, Garber and McWilliams, of course, was the 42-game streak by Pete Rose. Was it 44 games? 44-game streak.
At one time it was 42.
That's right. But probably right here in Atlanta.
You were very accurate.
We covered, I'll tell you a great story about that as we go along here. Brian Hunter, the batter, grounds at foul. We covered live the press conference. They had one every night in the old soccer clubhouse here because there was national media here following Rose as he bid for DiMaggio's record and all that. And the night it was ended by McWilliams and Garber. The first question a writer asked him, "Are you glad it's over?" And the guy was serious. So sometimes, and it's broadcasters are the same way, sometimes when you read about an athlete flipping out and being sullen and crabby toward the media
and saying what a stupid question,
sometimes you can't blame him. The 0-2 pitch. High fly foul. Long run for Conine, but he will run out of room.
Hammond has kind of changed his pitching pattern as the game has progressed. He changed speeds a lot before and was throwing breaking ball. He's gotten some fly ball outs, quite a few of them, but more in the last couple of innings. He's coming upstairs with his fastball, and he's coming inside to right-handers. Both Gant and Hunter long foul balls.
And he gets Hunter, and the inning is very quickly over, as was the 6th, and Hammond continues to pitch very, very impressively. We move on to the 8th inning. It's 4-1 Marlins. Howell makes his second appearance in 18 days, his first in 9. Just exactly the same as Bedrosian, who won 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs, struck out 1. Arias is 0 for 1, drove in a run with an infield out. He came on for Rich Renteria, who was beamed by Greg Maddux, but who they tell us is doing quite well down in the clubhouse. Nobody on, nobody out in the 8th inning. High pop into short left field. Blauser out. Gant in. Who wants it? Ron Gant. Puts it away. 1 down. Arias is out of there. Gary Sheffield is the batter. He is struck out, doubled, and walked. Well, a happy birthday to our senior cameraman here. Henry Matthews celebrates his 42nd today. Nice going, Henry. One ball, no strikes. Fast strike over the outside corner to Sheffield, evens it up. This guy is a good hitter, and he's got awesome power. Good curveball. That's Howell's stock in trade, that breaking ball. 1-2 is now the count.
In the high-tech age that we're in, you hear a lot of talk about bat speed. How fast is it traveling through the hitting zone? Bobby Cox said the other day he thought that Gary Sheffield had the best bat speed of any hitter in the National League.
Pretty good idea by Howell. Came in with a fastball, but got it just a little too far in. And the count evens at 2-2. It is getting late, and the Marlins enjoy a 4-1 lead. A looping liner into left. He just reached out and flicked that ball into left field. So a 1-out single, and Orestes Estrada is the batter. The Marlins already lead the season series against Atlanta 3-2.
Throw bat speed with some pretty good bat control. That's a good pitch. That may have been off the plate. But when you're as strong as Sheffield is, anytime you can reach the ball, put it in play, you got a chance of getting a base hit.
Estrada hitless in 3 at-bats. He has hit just 7 home runs. They hope for more of those, but he's not bad in the RBI department with 42. Sheffield back easily. Sheffield now has hit in all 7 games he has participated in as a member of the Marlins. Fastball high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Trevor Wilson left that game in New York due to inflammation in his left shoulder. One ball, no strikes, the count. Runner going, the pitch, curve inside. Barry Hill's throw is not good, but it didn't matter. That base was stolen on Jay Howell. Sheffield picks up his 8th in 9 tries.
You couldn't have shot him out with a cannon here. He had such a good jump on Jay Howell, a running jump, and he comes in. You know, the Marlins are not your typical expansion ball club, Skip. They are winning more games, scoring more runs, playing much better. Right now they're not knocking at the top of the league, but look how consistent they've been. Usually when you have an expansion ball club, if they do win, they win at home, but they get hammered on the road. Not so with the Marlins.
No, they're not an embarrassing ball club at all. That stolen base allows the Braves to pitch around Estrada as Howell issues his first walk, and Jeff Conine, a right-hand hitter, will come to the plate with 2 on and 1 out in the 8th inning. Tomorrow night we'll be with you a half hour earlier at 7:05. Pete Smith and Luis Aquino. Sunday at 1:05 TV time, John Smoltz against Ryan Bowen. And Monday back to our 7:35 start, Steve Avery against Jack Armstrong. 2 on, 1 out here. 4-8-0 for the Marlins. 1-2-1 for the Braves. You see that Conine's had a good night. He's been hot lately. 13 RBIs in his last 7 games. And he's got ducks on the pond here. He's hitting .296. Mario Cuomo and George Steinbrenner met for an hour today to discuss a new stadium for the Yankees. Good for them. Conine swung late at a fastball. He was sitting on the curve. It's 0-1. Well, I'll tell you what they could do. 42nd Street and Broadway needs a lot of brushing up in New York. That might be the answer. Put a ballpark there. To the plate. Curve in there at the letters. It's 0-2, and Howell in good shape now. He's ahead on the count. The youngster Darrell Whitmore waits to hit next. The wave has just started, and Don has leapt to his feet. Amazing.
You're a sick man. You know that?
I report the truth. But you're right, I am.
I was trying to leave the booth.
The 0-2 pitch. Swung and popped up on the infield. The old infield fly rule trick. And Lemke makes the catch. 2 down. So it's up to Darrell Whitmore, the youngster out of the University of West Virginia. He's hitless tonight. He is in into 2 double plays and struck out. At Edmonton, he was hitting .355. Had driven in 62 runs and had 9 homers.
He's looked good in right field, though, defensively. He's gotten a good jump on a lot of balls, tracked down some others, and he is well thought of in the Marlins organization.
They say the breaking ball is the thing he has to work on hitting, and he's facing a guy that's got a good one, and that's what he threw him, and that's what he missed.
And how many times do you hear that said about almost every kid coming out of the minor?
Here they come. Come on. Don is on his feet as the wave passes. It brings a tear to my eye.
I hope so.
But then I'm easily emotionally involved. Threw him another curve. Again, he didn't get it. 0-2 is the count. So Howell now appears to be in great shape as far as getting out of this inning is concerned.
You can see the scouting report that's been prepared for the Braves shows just exactly what you're talking about there. He's getting a steady diet of breaking balls and off-speed stuff all night long.
Oh, 2, the runners lead. Howell shakes off a sign. Now he's ready. Fastball, high and away. Good pitch. He wanted him to chase a bad ball. If he swings at that, the inning's over. Now he can come back with a curveball if he wishes.
Yeah, that's a showcase pitch, just to put it in his mind. Let him know he does have a fastball, but he should not see one for a strike.
The 1-2. He chased a terrible ball, and the inning is over. So Whitmore is out on strikes, and Howell gets out of trouble in the 8th. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and 2 runners left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning with your score. Marlins 4, Braves 1. Right at the ballpark, and this has nothing to do with it, but Carl Everett checks in to play center field for the Marlins. Everett, a young outfielder they just called up. Matt Turner, a former Braves farmhand, begins to labor in the bullpen. And the bottom of the 8th is about to unfold. Damon Berryhill leads things off. Fouls it off his body at home plate. It's 0-1. Don Sutton, Skip Carey with you from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Another huge crowd has gathered. Our friends down in Curacao combined with the Braves on beach towel night here. And the Braves want to thank those good folks. Chris Hammond has pitched himself a dandy. A little bit outside. A ball and a strike is the count. I've seen it all now. There's a fan that stopped Uncle Willie downstairs and asked for his picture. There's a man who's easily excited. Little chop play, can't make it. I think Weiss forgot who's running. If he uses his glove on that ball, he gets an out, I think. There's a break. Let's hope that's the start of something.
Boy, that's a good point you bring up. He did have time. He had to go a long way, but Berryhill now about 5 steps out the batter's box. Weiss had time to glove and throw, but he tried to make it the tough way with the bare hand, and Berryhill gets something I'll bet he doesn't get a lot of.
An infield hit. Mark Lemke, the batter. Bill Pecota moves on deck. Matt Turner, as we said, in the bullpen. Merker and McMichael up in the Atlanta pit. Lemke singled home a run his last time. That is only the 3rd hit of the night, the one by Berryhill, and only one of them, Lemke's, has been hit hard.
We were talking earlier about whether or not pitchers can go 9 and how sometimes you don't know because they never get the opportunity. What you will not see out of Marcel Latchman and Rene Latchman, and you see Hammond hasn't gone 9 in his career, is you will not see them waste an effort like this out of Chris Hammond. He's gotten them to the 8th inning with a chance to win. They won't let their heart overrule their head. They like to see him get the complete game, but they're not going to botch it by leaving him out there too long.
I'll tell you what, he has proven to me if you can pitch into the 8th inning in this cauldron that is this ballpark tonight, you can go 9.
You can go 9.
On a normal evening.
That's the thing about reputations in sports, though. They're so easy to get and so hard to shake.
Right through there with a fastball. It's 2-1. Lemke drove in his 26th run earlier in this game, tying what he did all of last year. Inside, it's 3-1. A walk, of course, brings the tying run to the plate. After 5, the Giants still lead the Mets 3-1. You know they're watching the scoreboard, checking on this game. Players say they don't, but they lie. Of course they do.
Some do.
The 3-1 over the outside corner. Are you saying there are some that don't even know that they're in a pennant race?
Thank you very much.
That's what I thought you were saying. 3-2 is the count.
And the other small percentage are worrying about their own stats, so they don't know about it. But for the most part, players do know what's going on around the league.
Double play ball, maybe. 4, 6, 3. They turned it very well. Arias ranged into the hole at second base to get to the ball.
One of the keys in a double play is to get rid of it in a hurry. Arias does this, but watch Weiss at second unload and get a lot on it, and he throws from the side to make Berryhill get out of the way so he couldn't disrupt his timing. Good job right there by that man of turning the double play.
I think every middle infielder has been buried once out there, and when it happens the first time, be it in Little League or Triple-A or the major leagues, you suddenly develop that sidearm flip to first for your own self-protection. Here's Bill Pacoda hitting at 267, and he looks at a breaking ball inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Right through there. It's 1-1. Jay Howell did his job. He got him out for an inning. Struck out 1, gave up a hit, gave up a walk. Downstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. Braves have hit into 2 double plays tonight. Cabrera hit into a big one, runners at first and third, 1 out in the inning in which Atlanta scored back in the 5th. Outside to Pacoda, it's 3-1, so the double play quieted everything down here, but the inning isn't over yet. 3 balls, 1 strike. And he walked it. Here comes Otis Nixon.
I think the Latchman brothers would like to see Hammond get through this inning, and you can see Marcel a little bit upset because of the walk. If he gets through this inning, they can pinch hit for him. He's the 3rd hitter next inning, and so they would rather not have to make a double switch or have to use 2 pitchers for this spot.
You see Brian Harvey has joined Turner down in the bullpen, and he is a tough customer. He gave up a long home run. Here comes Latchman, and that might do it. Probably will. And no, he's saying stay back.
No, he's saying I want Turner, the one nearest the stands, not
yeah,
Brian
that's what
Harvey.
he's saying. And then he'll use the pinch hitter. If Turner gets him out, he'll use the pinch hitter and bring Harvey in. Harvey gave up a big home run to Jeff Kent the other night, but when we get to him, brother, he is tough. We'll be back right after this.
Lead at 4-1. The new pitcher is Matt Turner. Matt, originally out of the Braves organization. He was traded to Houston in the deal that brought Jim Clancy over here. They signed him to an Edmonton contract back in 1992. There are his numbers. And I'll tell you what, he is part of what has become a well-respected bullpen in the National League. You put Brian Harvey at the top of the... Look at his strikeout totals. Better than 1 an inning. You put Brian Harvey at the top of the list there. 23 saves. Turner with 24 strikeouts. Lewis has pitched well. Chris Carpenter out of the University of Georgia. Pretty respectable. That's 4 pretty good people to go to war with out of the bullpen.
There's Chris Hammond, and no matter what happens, he did a whale of a job. 7 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run to this point. The runner at first, his responsibility. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 wild pitch. Otis 0 for 3. Turns around and hits left-handed against the right-hander out of Middle Georgia College. And Turner, another guy out of Lexington, Kentucky. A lot of big league pitchers hail from there. Fouled back. It's 0-1. Runner at first, 2 out, bottom of the 8th. The Marlins lead it 4-1.
Another example is Turner of how there are a number of ways to get it done, and you have to be very flexible as a pitching coach to work with everybody. From the stretch, watch, he doesn't use a whole lot of leverage, just kind of flings it.
Chopped over the head of Destrada into right field. Pacoda stopped at second base. Now he races for third. The ball gets away. A run is in. Nixon is at third base. What a break. Pacoda, for some reason, probably lack of playing time, stopped for a moment, forgot how many outs there were, it appeared. And if the right fielder comes up with the ball cleanly, runners are at second and third. Instead, a run is in.
They have to be in with Nixon. There, the possibility of the bunting, that gets him this. This is bad base running by Bill Pacoda. He's got nothing else to do but run with 2 outs, and he absolutely forgot what it was. We've talked about how well Whitmore has played tonight. Here, he let one get by him. That's a good break for the Braves. 1 run in. Nixon at third. Blauser the hitter, and he didn't get what he wanted. Now he's got to make that double switch and go to his ace.
It's a double, an error on the right fielder, no RBI, and that's exactly the way it should be scored. So they will double switch, and Brian Harvey will come in to pitch. Bad break for Turner. He got what he wanted, a routine ground ball, but it hopped over the head of Destrada. We'll be back right after this. Comes into the game to play right field. He will bat 9th. And Brian Harvey is on to pitch, and he will hit in the 6th spot as Darrell Whitmore leads the game, the starter in right field for the Marlins. Now the tying run comes to the plate for Atlanta, but as we showed you, Harvey is tough. He has 23 saves, a 1.56 earned run average. The league is hitting 185 against him.
The most impressive set of strikeouts to walks and walks per inning that you'll find anywhere. And he's a guy that has pitched well both at home and on the road. When you look at a number out of a guy like that, and you only see 5 walks in about 35 innings and 40-something strikeouts, he was somewhat of a gamble by the Marlins, too. But when you look at it on the surface, but let me tell you one reason why it wasn't that big of a gamble. The injury, the money, it was already invested in him. One of the reasons it was as big a gamble as it might look is that Marcel Latzman was his pitching coach with the California Angels and greatly responsible for this young man's success.
He's out of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Fast strike outside corner, 0-1.
Good fastball into the 90s, a split finger fastball that's almost as fast as his fastball. And I've heard American League hitters say once he gets 2 strikes on you, you just kind of want to go ahead and go sit down.
Blauser waits. 0-2. There it was. He's tough. Hammond, we can shut the book on him now. 7 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Well, actually, we can't be sure about the earned run until we see what Blauser does. He fought it off. It's still 0-2. Harvey goes right after you. Nothing real finesse oriented about this guy. Mike Stanton begins to throw in the Atlanta bullpen. Harvey from Chattanooga lives in Catawba, North Carolina. Into the dirt. A wild pitch fastball would be nice here. Bring the Braves within 1. You never like to bring your closer in until that last inning, but Latzman felt he had no choice. Now they want to look at the baseball.
That's a luxury this expansion ball club has that none other I can think of has ever had. Certainly the Rockies don't have it. It's also a luxury that most teams in the National League don't have. See, that's why they're different. That's why I think they're really gearing up for the second best one-loss record or second place next year, or maybe even better.
It missed. It's 2-2. There's your on-deck hitter, but for him to come up here, Jeff Blauser has to deliver. Jeff 0 for 3 tonight. And he faces one of the best relievers in the business right here. The 2-2. Got him. You can see Santiago have to dive headlong to control that pitch. So Harvey comes in and gets out of it in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning. It's 4-2 Marlins. Kent Merker on the pitch, and the left-hander faces a tough right-hand batter, Benito Santiago, to start the 9th. Looking ahead to the Atlanta half of the inning, it will be the men you would want up there: Pendleton, Gant, Justice, due against Brian Harvey. 49,158 are paid attendance. Another sellout. Fly ball, pretty well hit right center field, but Justice drifts back there. He's got it, 1 down.
There's something right there I wish you could drill into every young pitcher who has an outstanding live fastball. On the first pitch, if you take the power part of the plate, in most cases it's the inside part, out of play and throw a strike up and away, very few hitters will ever hit it over the fence, and most of the time you're going to get a lazy fly ball. It may be 370 feet, but as long as the fence is 385, what do you care?
This is Carl Everett batting, and he swings late and hits it foul. He was playing at High Desert, where he hit .289 with 10 homers, 52 RBIs, and was on his way to Edmonton. He also stole 24 bases. But then when Chuck Carr got hurt, they said, forget Edmonton, head the other way, and he wound up in Fort Lauderdale.
It's a pretty good jump. High Desert, I think, is Class A California
It is, yeah.
League, isn't it? Well, they probably wanted to get him out here for his speed, for his defensive ability.
2 balls and a strike. Yeah,
He'll be back
they
in the
feel
month.
he's a ways away, but he'll get a taste here, and then
I think that's a good idea. If you've got a kid that you think is going to play somewhere down the road and you're not jeopardizing your chances to win a pennant, and the Marlins are certainly not thinking pennant, give him a taste of the big league life.
high pop foul back and out of play. It's 4-2. We're in the 9th. Is it raining in New York? It's been a 3-1 game after 5. The Giants leading the Mets for about an hour. High pop. Berryhill got a late start. It doesn't matter. It's out of play. He couldn't pick it up right away. Yeah, there is a rain delay after 5 innings with the Giants on top 3-1. Just missed inside, full count.
It's a good breaking ball from Merker. Ken every now and then has a very good one. We see him throw one that rolls every now and then, but that was a good sharp one.
Bounce to short. Tough play. Blauser has to recover. Cannot get him. This kid can really run. That'll be a boot on Blauser. His second of the night.
I think when you know that the guy running can get down the line in a hurry and you're caught in between, there's a tendency to try to rush it. Jeff already had his throwing hand down near the glove. He did that about as quickly as you could, and that'll get about 80% of the runners in the league.
Greg Bradley is just thrilled to be coming up here against the left-hand hitter, or the left-hand pitcher. He's a good pinch hitter. In his career, he's at .278 as a pinch hitter. Most of that at Seattle. Down and in, 1 ball, no strikes. Walt Weiss waits on deck. Merker's job is clear here. Hold them where they are and see if his offense can think of something in the bottom half.
They might give Everett a shot at testing Merker's move to first. Briley from the left-handed batter's box can protect him a little.
Boy, had a good cut at a high fastball, but got around late. A ball and a strike.
That'd be a tough choice if you're Everett. Listen, kid, do you want to go to Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, and Cincinnati, or do you want to go to Bakersfield?
Well, he was on his way to the AAA club here in Edmonton, I think to take the place of Darrell Whitmore, who had just been called up. I've never been to Edmonton, but I think I'd take Fort Lauderdale. Hot shot, might be two. Blauser, Lemke, Hunter. 6-4, 3 and out. Third double play hit into by the Marlins. No hits, no runs, and air, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the ninth inning. Last chance for the Braves. Need a rally. They trail it 4-2. Last chance for the Braves. Bottom half of the ninth inning. Terry Pendleton leads it off. 0 for 3 in the game. Pendleton, then Gant, then Justice. Then, if anybody gets on, probably a pinch hitter for Brian Hunter. Braves fans hopeful those beach towels won't be crying towels tonight. And the Braves will have to rally to keep that from happening. Brian Harvey ready to go to work. His best year was 91 with the Angels. He saved 46 games and had an ERA of 1.60. Pendleton leads it off. Sheffield in close at third. Here we go. Foul tip back. It's 0-1. Nobody on, nobody out. Harvey in 34 and 2/3 innings has given up 3 homers, 5 walks, and now 44 strikeouts. Pretty good numbers. Dodgers winning tonight. That makes Don happy, his whole team, and the count evens at 1-1.
Harvey a little unusual. Look how close he is from the stretch, but also look how long it is before you can pick the ball up.
Boy, that didn't miss by much. 2 balls, 1 strike.
When you throw 95 miles an hour with a fastball, a split finger that's about 88 to 90, you really don't need a whole lot of deception, but his delivery does add to it. A milestone possible for him tonight.
The 2-1 pitch. High smoke. It's 2-2. The Braves Brain Trust looks on. Line foul. Hit it sharply. Didn't try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Just make contact and drive it somewhere. We mentioned Sheffield wide of the line. A good idea by Terry, but he missed the double by about 4 or 5 feet.
He gets 2 strikes. He is doubly tough. We were telling you before about how some hitters say, well, let me just go sit down. Once he gets 2 strikes, batters are hitting less than 130 against Brian Harvey.
Got him. Down and in. He has faced 2. He has struck them both out. Here's Gant.
It's that split finger fastball. Most left-handers like the fastball down and in. He starts this in what looks like a good hitting area, but look at that thing just go down, dive. That is not a fork ball. That's a split finger fastball.
Ron Gant stands in there. The Gantster 0 for 3 tonight. He calls time. A bug flies into his eye. Boy, he's tough. But you never know. San Diego leads Philadelphia 3-1 after 5 in the first game of a doubleheader. They had a virtual 2-hour rain delay at the start, and it's been raining for about an hour now. Another game to follow, but they may have to call that. If they do, it's a loss for the Phillies. That's an official first game. High pop out of play. 0-2. Pittsburgh won the first at Cincinnati 10-9. No score after 2.5 in the second. It's raining. There are suicidal announcers all over the league. We don't mean to laugh, but yeah, we do. The 0-2 pitch into the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. That popped away from Santiago. Dodgers 4-1 over Montreal there in the 7th. Giants 3-1 over the Mets after 5 rain delay in New York. Houston hammering St. Louis 6-1 after 6. Scott Service another homer. A 3-run shot, his 8th of the year. And Chicago over Colorado 5-0 after 2.5 behind Greg Hibbard. Steve Lake a homer. Tapped foul. In the American League, Texas leads Detroit again. It's 4-0 after 7. Kevin Brown pitching that game. Chicago put 7 on the board in the 4th, and they lead Baltimore 11-1 after 5. Bo Jackson a homer, his 6th. Robin Ventura a slam, his 14th. Ozzie Guillen a 2-run homer, his 2nd. Minnesota leads Milwaukee 5-3 as they bat in the bottom of the 5th. Here there's 1 out in the 9th, and it's 4-2 Marlins. Brian Harvey to Ron Gant. Close, 2-2.
This is a good at bat for a right-hander against Brian Harvey. Gant may not win the battle, but he's fouled off his out pitch twice. He took his out pitch there, so he's forcing Harvey to do some pitching.
And 1 base runner brings a potential tying run to the plate. Outside, it's 3-2. 1 other score, Toronto and Kansas City. 2-2 after 4. The other action later on tonight. Justice waits on deck. A little tap to third. Sheffield bobbles it, but throws him out. 2 down. The ball popped out of his glove, but he slapped it back in there with a bare hand and was able to make the play.
His offensive potential, his ability to put runs on the board is so good that sometimes we overlook what a pretty darn good third baseman Sheffield is. Gets the ball, doesn't panic, doesn't hustle, doesn't rush it, although Gant is a good base runner, and he makes the play.
So David Justice just wants to keep it alive here. Sid Bream has moved on deck to pinch hit next. Gotta have a base runner to have a chance. Down by 2. Broken bat. Wow, 0-1. Whoa, what a rotten piece of wood that was. There's about 5 pieces of that thing laying out there.
That's a new outdoor record for number of pieces from a bat. That's 5. You're correct. It is 5. And I think he might want to get some new timber.
Boy, I've never seen one go like that.
That about that far up the handle. What's the ball hit?
That's a jam job, folks.
David, when he's through picking the splinters out, will step in again.
He went, and it's 0-2. Low and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Chris Hammond 1 out away from going to 10-4 for the year. You see him icing down his arm as he watches the game. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harvey a little upset with himself. He wants to go right after the hitter here. He's got a hitter to play with, really. This is the pitch he wants to make sure something happens on. He doesn't want to go 3-2 as he did with Gant. That should do it on the infield. Sheffield wants it, and game 1 of this series belongs to the Marlins. Brian Harvey comes on to nail it down. His 24th save of the year. 4-2 the final. Totals and highlights after this.
And this one, they get 2 in the 4th, 2 more in the 5th, and win it 4-2 for the Florida Marlins. 4 runs, 8 hits in air. They stranded 5. For the Braves, 2 runs, 4 hits, a couple of errors. They stranded 3. Hammond, the winner. He went 7 2/3 good innings for the Florida Marlins. He's now 10-4. Maddux gets the lay. Brian Harvey, the save, 150th career save, 24 this year, 49,158. 2 hours and 27 minutes. Scary moment early in the ball game for the Florida Marlins. Greg Maddux trying to come inside on Rich Renteria. Watch the fastball run up and in. He doesn't get out of the way. It catches him high up on the flap. According to the word that we get, he is okay. He's going to be uncomfortable for a little while, but awfully glad nothing worse came out of that. It was very scary for a little while. Good night for Hammond. I mean, he pitched himself a good ball game. He only got 2 strikeouts, one of them right here against Otis Nixon, but he was in control. He won his 10th ball game. Once again, the final score, the Marlins win it 4-2. Hammond, for his work, is our Armor All Tire Foam Player of the Game. His 10th win. He is now 8 in a row. That ties Steve Avery.
4-2 the final. Tomorrow, same 2 teams. 7:05 will be TV time. Pete Smith against Luis Aquino. We'll have it right here for you at TBS. We have to rush now because coming up next on the Superstation is a movie called Whitewater Summer starring Kevin Bacon. Don't miss it. We'll see you tomorrow night. For Don Sutton, Pete Van Weeren, Joe Simpson, our entire TBS crew from the Old Ball Yard. Skip Terry. So long, everybody.